Hello, today I want to make a video on the possible connection or link between autism and demisexuality. What is demisexuality? Let me explain. It is that I need to have an emotional connection or an emotional bond to have to be sexually aroused, to be turned on, to have that sexual connection. And and for me it's not even just the emotional bond, but sometimes even I need to know, to have a sense of who they are, of their core values, of their daily commitments. Some people say that demisexuality is halfway to asexual. I don't agree with that. It's not in between sexual and asexual. It's a whole other thing in my view. Now there's a second theory that there's this thing called primary sexual attraction and secondary sexual attraction. Primary sexual attraction is when you see somebody who is good looking and just the look alone creates a biological attraction in you. That is primary sexual attraction, and secondary sexual attraction is from the emotional, mental, spiritual connection. And some people say that a demisexual doesn't have primary sexual attraction but only secondary. In my view, it's more that the secondary and primary are switched. So the secondary is primary for me and the primary is secondary. So for me, I'm more turned on by the emotional, mental, and spiritual connection. And the physical looks are more of the icing on the cake. That still can turn me on, but that's more like another layer that adds to the emotional connection. So without the emotional connection, I could look at somebody and objectively think, "Oh wow, this person's beautiful or handsome." But that's more like looking at a flower or a sunset and having the same type of response. "Oh wow, this sunset's beautiful," or "this flower is beautiful." So that's demisexuality. Now, being autistic adds another layer. So autism has many different aspects to it. My experience partly is some of the things that stand out is my hypersensitivity to sound and touch and sight, but especially to sound, and my need to, I can be super focused once I found something that's right for me. And because of that, I'm also multi-passionate and multi-creative, because for me, it's a search for serotonin. That's why I have many different interests. And depending on the day and the time, some activities give me more serotonin or the right amount of serotonin at the right timing in relation to the rest of my being and body. So that's why it's not just about the amount, but also about the timing. And so basic hormonal biology. And by the way, even though I speak of serotonin, for the most part, autism or neurodivergence is not a neurotransmitter issue; it's a nervous system issue. So that's what distinguishes it from mental illness. It's not a neurotransmitter issue; it's a nervous system issue, and therefore it's a neural processing issue. We just have a different way of processing things, and that's about it. And so one of the things that I look for is I may be painting, I may be drawing, I may be writing. I do a lot of different things, or I think about doing a lot of things, and even the thinking about it can induce certain nervous system changes in me. And once I've chosen something that gives me the right amount of serotonin, then I certainly become super focused on that task, and because of my super focus, I can be really good at it in that moment, even if I don't have the the technical skills that much, or even that much of a high, say, talent in the field or subject. So related to that, how it ties in with my need for emotional connection is also that uh, autistic people such as me are actually hyper empaths. And so the myth that we don't feel other people's emotions is wrong. It's actually the opposite. That's why emotional connection is important for me as well. And so just like I search for serotonin, and by the way, serotonin is what relaxes me, dopamine is what excites me and gives me pleasure, and oxytocin is what creates the emotional bond. And but it starts with the search for serotonin, just like I do it with art, with people. Certain people relax me in the right way, and that's a rare occurrence. Not everyone relaxes me. In fact, most people don't, or at least not in the right way. But once I found somebody that could create, whose presence can create the right amount of relaxation, then there is uh, a tendency to become super focused on that person, just like I do with my art. And it's very different from obsession. So to be clear on that, it's more of a focus and a desire to even be interested and understand this person more. And the other thing has to do with touch. In one of the videos that I watched, they were talking about how they don't like tickles as an autistic person or light touch. Um, they prefer more firm touch. I actually like both, but with the light touch, what drives me crazy is when the touch is not focused or not decisive. So it's more about decisive versus indecisive touch and focused touch versus unfocused touch. So you can be firm, but if you're indecisive, that's gonna be an issue for me. And conversely, if you have a light touch and you're indecisive, that's a problem too. So, but if you touch me lightly and you are decisive about it, and if there's a sense of love and tenderness and focused love, then that is just wonderful. And also related to that, for me, is I have synesthesia where a lot of my senses are combined, and that's what, in my view, that's what makes me the hypersensitive, because sound, for example, is more than just sound, it's touch. It I experience it as touch in my whole body. Same thing with sight. It feels like a form of energy moving through my whole body, which is why I love dancing to music. I listen to it with my whole body. But conversely, if its music is too loud, or even if it's not loud but it's not the right timing, it's just not the right time for me to be listening to that music, such as when I'm about to sleep, for example, then it is very frustrating and annoying. All right, those are some of the things I wanted to talk about. Thank you so much. Have a great day.